not show up. Okay, so in your notebooks, I want you to put distributive property, because that's what we're covering next. Hang on. Okay. So I want you to write distributive property in your notes. No, that looks like one picture, right? Okay, I'll explain it in a little bit. But that's what we're going to cover, distributive property. Okay, so I know it's kind of hard at this point to just stop doing your homework that you were working on. But I want you to stop doing that homework. We're going to do another lesson, and then you'll have time to maybe finish everything. Okay, so what does distribute mean? If I say I'm going to distribute something, what does that mean to you guys? Go ahead. Okay, to give it to everybody. So let me explain this picture. The distributive property, we're going to think of in terms of candy. Okay, now if it wasn't COVID, we didn't have to worry about COVID, I would have a bag of candy and I would distribute it to the class. Sorry. I know, I'm getting a look. And you, right? So because of COVID, I can't. They won't let me hand out candy. And otherwise the people at home would be really mad at me because they don't get any candy. It would just be the people here, so I can't hand out any candy. But let's pretend if I had a bag of candy and I was going to distribute it to the class, how would I do that? So I have a bag of candy, I want to distribute it to the class. Brooke. Give everyone. So I can't just come and bring the whole bag to Jada? No. Jada's saying yes, please, that'd be awesome. No, Jada doesn't get the whole bag because she might not share with everyone. Okay, distribute means I have to share equally with everyone. So maybe everyone gets one piece. Or maybe everyone gets 2 pieces. I don't just take the bag and throw it up and free for all. Oh, that'd be chaos. Yeah, that's like little kids at a birthday party when they break a piñata. We know, that's chaos.
Still me.
Oh, that's still you guys. Yeah, that's still 7th graders too. Okay. So distribute means that everybody has to get the same amount. So in terms of the candy is out here in front of the parentheses. And it gets distributed to this guy. And it gets distributed to this girl. So they both have an equal amount. Okay? So now let's put this a little bit in terms of numbers. Okay, the distributive property says, this is going to be super confusing, and then I'll make it less confusing. For any numbers, A, B, and C, A times the sum of B and C equals AB plus AC. And A times the difference of B and C equals AB minus AC. Who's completely confused? Good. That's what I meant to do. Now I'll unconfuse you. Okay. When it's just letters like this, it's kind of confusing, I would agree. Okay. So I want everybody in your notes to write this example. Okay, so let's do 2 parentheses 3 plus 4. Okay, write that down. 2 parentheses 3 plus 4. So those of you at home, write that down also. Okay, now I know that typically we would solve this by just doing order of operations. And we would say, well, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14. That would be how we typically solve it. That'd be the easiest way to do it. But if I say I want to use the distributive property, we have to distribute. And that means the 2 is like the candy. So I'm going to take the 2 and I have to give that candy to everybody in the group. We can't leave anybody out, right? Nobody in here would want to be left out from getting the candy. Is there anybody in here who doesn't like candy? Oh, okay, Brooke, avocados. I'm going to hand out avocados. Okay. Okay, so the 2 goes to the 3. So we would write 2 times 3. And the 2 has to go to the 4. So we would write 2 times 4. And then we would put a plus sign between them. Okay? Right? 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. We add them together, we get 14.
So
Same answer either way. So some of you might be saying, well, then why don't we just do this? Right? Okay. When we get to algebra, we can't just do this because there's going to be a letter in there. Okay? I promise you it won't be confusing when we do it. But let's practice with numbers first. Okay, let's try another example. Let's do 2 parentheses 7 minus 3. Okay, so write that down. 2 parentheses 7 minus 3. Which of those numbers, the 2, the 7, or the 3, is like the candy? Which one's like the candy? Brinley. The 2. So the 2 has to be shared with everything in the group. Okay, so the 2 has to go to the 7 to be 2 times 7. And the 2 has to go to the 3 to be 2 times 3. What do I put between those this time? Jada? A minus. Because there's a minus sign in the parentheses, I'm going to put a minus sign here. Okay, then we could evaluate. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 3 is 6. And we subtract, and we'd have 8. Okay? So part of your homework is going to be evaluating some expressions, but using the distributive property first. Okay? So let's try this. It's going to look just like this. It says rewrite the expressions below using the distributive property, then evaluate. And evaluate means find the answer. But you have to use the distributive property. So write the first one in your notes, 8, and then parentheses, 10 plus 4. Which of those numbers is the candy? Hannah?
8.
The 8. Okay, the 8's the candy. The candy has to go to the 10. So you have 8 times 10. And the candy has to go with the 4. So the 8 has to go with the 4. So we have 8 times 4. In this case, we put a plus sign between them. So we've used the distributive property, and now we're going to evaluate. What's 8 times 10? Shout it out. 80. 8 times 4 is 32. We add them together, that's 112. Okay, so yes, I am going to expect to see all of this on your homework. It won't take you that long, I promise. Okay. Number 2, which number is the candy? So write this one down, 6 parentheses 12 minus 3. Which of those 3 numbers is like the candy? Hannah? The 6. So the 6 has to be shared with the 12. So we have 6 times 12. The 6 also has to be shared with the 3. Don't forget to share the candy with everyone, because nobody wants to be left out. So we'd have 6 times 3. And then we're going to subtract in this case. So 6 times 12 is 72. You can use a calculator if you need to. 6 times 3 is 18. And we're going to subtract. And we get 54. Okay, questions there? Now I know everybody says, that is, why would I go through all of that work? when I could just use order of operations, okay? And we go through all of that work because we are going to do algebra. So the distributive property of algebra is the same exact thing, but now our problems have a letter in it. I actually think this is a little easier. Okay, so I want you to write this example in your notes. 3 parentheses x plus 2. 3 parentheses x plus 2. And the 3 is the candy. Okay? So we have to take the 3 and we have to share it with the x. What do you get when you multiply a 3 and an x? 3x. That simple. It's just 3x. And then I'm going to put a plus sign. I also have to share the 3 with the 2. What do you get when you multiply the 3 and 2? 3 times 2. Please tell me you know how to multiply, everybody. Okay. So 3 times 2 is 6, and there's our answer. Done. Okay, now the reason we do this is because parentheses in algebra kind of get in the way. We don't like them very much. We want to be able to get rid of them. The distributive property let me get rid of the parentheses. So I went from a problem where I had parentheses to now I don't have them. Okay, so let's try the next one. 4 parentheses y minus 5. So put that in your notes. 4 parentheses y minus 5. Which is the candy? The 4. So the 4 gets shared with the y, and we get 4y. Does that make sense to everybody? They're just being multiplied together. And then minus, since there's a minus sign in the parentheses, the 4 also has to be shared with the 5. So that gives you what? It's 4 times 5? 20. So we'd have 4y minus 20 as your answer. Questions there? Okay, so let's try a few more examples. Okay, so now these say rewrite each expression using the distributive property and then simplify. Some of them are already going to be simplified. Some of them we have to simplify at the end. So looking at letter A, write that down. 3 parentheses x plus 7. Which number is the candy? The 3. So the 3 gets shared with the x to give us, shout it out, 3x. I put a plus sign there. The 3 also gets shared with the 7. What's 3 times 7? 21. There's our answer. Can I simplify 3x and 21? Can I put them together? No, right? They're not like terms, because this would be 3 x's and this would be 21 ones. I can't put them together. So I'm done. There's my answer. Okay, let's try the next one. 6 parentheses 3n plus 2g. Okay, which number is the candy? The 6. Whatever is outside of the parentheses right in front of it is the candy. So the 6 goes to the 3n. What do you think 6 times 3n is? Person? 18n. So you would just put 18n. A plus sign, since there's a plus sign here. And then the 6 has to be shared with the 2g. What's 6 times 2g? Friend? 12g. Can I simplify that any further? Can I put N's and G's together? No, they're not like terms, so I'm done. Questions there? Okay, 2 more and then we'll be done. Okay, look at letter C. Okay, write that down. 5 parenthesis G minus 5, then your parenthesis, and then plus 4G. This one has something extra. Okay. So first of all, what's the candy? The 5. The 5 is the candy. Now, we have to share the candy. Who are we sharing the candy with? Carson. The G and the 5. We only share the candy with the people in the group. The people in the room. We don't share with 4G. They're in Miss Soccer's room. I don't get any. They're out of luck. Okay? We're kind of equal that way. We only share with the cool people in this room. Okay? So we're not going to share with the 4G. We're going to share with the 5 with the G to get 5G. And then a minus sign. And I'm going to share the 5 with the 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And then I'm just going to put plus 4G. Now, can I simplify anything? Can I put anything together? Person, you're saying yes. What can I put together?
5G and 4G.
Yeah. 5G plus 4G is 9Gs. So we have 9G minus 25 would be our simplified answer. So this one we had one more step because we had to simplify. Okay, last one. The 3 is the candy. What does the 3 get shared with? Jada. The X and the 4. Not with the 2. The 2's in Miss Sacri's room. We're not sharing with them. Okay? So we have 3x plus 3 times 4 is 12. And then we still have the plus 2. So we have 3x plus 12 plus 2. Can I simplify anything? Really? Yeah. So what would we get? Perfect. 3x plus 14. So there's your answer. Okay? All right. Everybody go to Canvas. Let's do one of